Hey, and welcome back to the channel. Today we're going to be making some sesame chicken, and we're also going to be enjoying a nice Deschutes Jubilee beer. Stay tuned to the end. I'm going to give you something special. We're going to make it extra crispy sesame chicken. So if you like that, stay tuned. All right, let's get busy. So here we're using boneless, skinless chicken thighs. I'm going to trim off the fat a little bit here because I don't like a lot of fat on the chicken. We're going to cut these into roughly 1/2 inch by 1/2 inch cubes. If you want to do 1 inch by 1 inch, that's totally fine too. Cut it how you like it. It's all up to you. The main reason why we use dark meat or thigh meat is because generally chicken breasts over time as you cook them tend to dry out a lot quicker than your traditional dark meat. As you can see, here's roughly the size that I'm cutting them into. Okay, now it's time to season the chicken. Here I'm using about 1 tablespoon of chopped garlic. You can put this in a blender and mince it. You can smash it however you like. I just decided to chop it up for convenience. Next, I'm adding 1.5 teaspoons of soy sauce, 1 teaspoon of salt. You can add pepper to taste. Here I have about a teaspoon of black pepper. Next we have 3/8 of a teaspoon of baking soda. This will help the chicken stay tender. 1/2 teaspoon of cornstarch. And finally, 1 egg white. Now we'll go ahead and we'll mix thoroughly, make sure that everything is evenly coated, everything has seasoning on it. Now that that's done, we're going to cover it with saran wrap and let it set for 40 minutes. Next, we are prepping the coating for the sesame chicken. We're starting with 1 cup of cornstarch. Next, you're going to see me lightly sprinkle water over the top of the cornstarch. This is the first step in making it extra crunchy, as I was talking about earlier in the video. I'm going to repeat this process 3 times. You'll see me sprinkle it, then I'm going to take a whisk and mix it together to get the cornstarch to start clumping together. You can also use a spray bottle and lightly mist it and mix it up. I just figured this was easier as one less step in having to fill up a water bottle. Anyways, as you can see, I done it a second time, and then we will do it 1 more time in this process, and then we'll be ready to add the chicken. Here I'm looking for small clumps of the cornstarch, making sure it's the consistency that I like it. If I don't see enough small clumps here, I can always go and repeat the process of sprinkling the water over the top, but I found that the consistency is where I want. Now I'm going to take half of that cornstarch, put it in a bowl, and I'm going to save the other half for later. And you'll see why in a second. I'm going to go ahead and spread that cornstarch along the bottom of that bowl. Make it nice and even. Then I'm going to add the chicken on the top of that. After I get the chicken spaced out, you don't want to throw all the chicken in there because you want to evenly coat each piece. So I just place each piece in there where I want it. And then the next step would be to add the other half of the cornstarch on top, seal it, shake it up, pop it open, and see and make sure that everything is coated the way you like it. Now that everything is coated nicely, I'm going to go ahead and transfer it into a bowl. I still have more chicken to run through this process. In the video, I did 2 pounds of chicken, but the recipe that I'm going to give you is for 1 pound. So just whatever you see, go ahead and double it. Here the oil is heated to 350 degrees. And same thing as you did in the bowl, you want to make sure that you put each piece in, 1, so you don't get splashed with very hot grease, and 2, so they do not clump together and stick together while you're frying it. All right, the chicken is just about done. It takes about 3 to 4 minutes to cook on each side. I'm gonna go ahead and flip these over. Like I said earlier, I'm cooking 2 pounds, so I will end up switching this chicken out once it's done for the next batch. I'll put this batch aside, wait till the second batch is done, and then we're on to the final step of our extra crunchy sesame chicken. Depending on if you make 1 or 2 batches, you always want to make sure that you have a fine mesh strainer like you see in the upper part of the video. This will help get the excess grease off the chicken and let it drain right back into the pan. Like I said before, we're going to go ahead and set this batch aside. We're going to go ahead and put the next batch in. All right, here we are, starting the second batch of chicken. It's going to repeat the process, so I'm not going to bore you completely with the rest of this part of the video. We're going to go ahead and we're going to jump right into the final step of making this the extra crunchy sesame chicken. All right, we're finishing up the first step of the process of making the sesame chicken. I cooked 2 pounds of chicken, so we're going to add both. Because I cooked the 2 pounds, I'm going to have to stir occasionally to make sure that all of the chicken is getting fried evenly. When you do 1 pound, it fits in the pan a lot better. All right, we're just finishing up putting it in. And like I said, you'll see me stir it occasionally to make sure that all the chicken is getting cooked evenly. I took a chance here by pouring it all in, but it's because I already had the chicken covered at the bottom of the pan, so I knew it wouldn't splash on me. And now it's just time to stir. Here again, we're gonna cook for another 2 to 3 minutes. I'm gonna speed the process up by cutting the video a little short because I don't want to bore you with all that. All right, here we are making the sauce. The portions look much bigger because like I said, I'm cooking 2 pounds. What you see me put in first was 3 tablespoons of brown sugar. Now I'm adding 2 tablespoons of honey. Next is 2.5 tablespoons of soy sauce. I use a plastic scraper to make sure that I get everything into the bowl. We got 2.5 tablespoons of ketchup. Next, we have 3 tablespoons of water to help liquefy all the sticky stuff we've already put in. Next, we got 1 tablespoon of vinegar to help balance the sweetness. Now, we're just gonna set and whisk it until we get into a nice liquid. Next, we are going to heat up another skillet. You can use a wok if you have a wok. I don't have a wok, I just have an oversized skillet, so that's what we're gonna use today. All right, our pan's now preheated. All we're gonna do is pour in our sesame sauce. I have a gas stove. I have it set right in the middle at 5. Each top is a little bit different, whether it's electric or gas. All we're trying to do is just heat up that sauce. We're gonna go ahead and add the chicken next, and we're just gonna kind of toss the chicken back and forth, try and get it nice and coated. I tilt the pan to get all the sauce into one corner and then just kind of lightly stir it to make sure that everything is evenly coated. The chicken's still warm at this point with the pan. We're just gonna go ahead and reheat the chicken to get it to the temperature that we want so we can eat. Now that everything is evenly coated, I'm going to go ahead and sprinkle on the sesame seeds. This is the step or the point where you add the sesame seeds. Sprinkle, stir it up, and then if you want more, go ahead and add more. At this point, the sauce will be nice and caramelized. All your chicken will be covered. This is where you get that gooey sweetness. And the amazing thing is, because we double fried that chicken, it puts that coating very crispy, and this sauce will not penetrate it and make it soft and gooey like most store-bought orange chicken or sesame chicken or General Tso's chicken, any of that stuff. So this recipe is amazing for the fact that it keeps that crispiness even the next day when you go to warm up your seconds. I highly recommend not using a microwave, throwing it back in a pan and heating it back up. So now we're getting ready to serve this. We're gonna put a bed of rice on a plate. We're gonna add the chicken. We're gonna throw some chopped green onions on top, and it will be ready to serve. Here, if you have egg rolls, whatever Chinese or Japanese style food you want to add to it, pot stickers, you name it, you can always add it as a side. Here, I'm a big fan of just chicken and rice. Right now, the smells in the kitchen are amazing. It smells sweet, it smells spicy. I love the smell when we're cooking. Here's a final look of it, setting in a bowl. This is good. All right, well, we're all done. Took about an hour total. Prep and cook time. It smells amazing. I had the kids come downstairs and tell me how amazing it smelled. Let's hope that, well, let's not hope, we'll know. This is gonna taste pretty amazing. Let's give it a, excuse me. Let's give it a taste. This right here is fire. This is legit. Sorry for talking with my mouth full. Wow. That is something else. But I'm gonna stop eating. I don't mean to eat in front of you. That right there, The key is to double fry it. Double fry it, super, super crunchy. It holds its texture, the crunchy texture, to keep the sauce from kind of soaking in and making it mushy like most pre-bagged stuff you'd buy at the grocery store. This all home cooked, all homemade, all home mixed. When it comes to the sauce, I would test the sauce. If it's not sweet enough, add a little bit more honey, a little bit more brown sugar, whatever it is, make it the way you like it. This is just the way I make it the way you like it. I want to thank you for taking the time out of your busy day to watch this video. I hope you enjoy this as much as my family and I have after I cooked it. Please like the video. If you thought the content was good, please subscribe. I'm going to be bringing a lot more of these videos to you guys. And share if you have the time. If you think this was a good, I take that back. Don't share it yet. Go ahead, create it yourself. If you think the recipe was great and worth sharing, come on back. Leave a comment, tell me how much you liked it, and then share it. All right, until next time, this is Dan the Flavor Guy. I appreciate you stopping by. Have a good night.